Guys, we are a little bit late, but I believe we are still waiting for a few people who are going to join us. Let's give them at least 2 minutes. Apologize for that. Okay, so I guess plan changed. So let's start. Our first speaker is Dr. Aneta Biały from the John Paul Catholic University in Lublin, Poland.
Witam Państwa bardzo serdecznie i tak nie jestem przekonana, czy już mamy tak na prawdziwo zaczynać. Na prawdziwo, dobrze.
Ja się boję kłócić z panią doktor Klich, więc może zaczynajmy.
Ale pani doktor wyszła, więc... Szanowni Państwo, serdecznie dziękuję za zaproszenie, za możliwość przedstawienia pewnych swoich refleksji. Tytuł mojego wystąpienia, nie widać go na monitorze, ja nie mam prezentacji. Zwyczajowo, kiedy przystępuję do jakiejś prelekcji, mam wszystko poukładane w głowie. Ale zasadniczo, jak już stanę z tym mikrofonem, a należę do osób, którym udziela się bardzo szybko słowotok, to scenariusz się bardzo szybko zmienia. I myślę, że teraz będzie tak samo, a to co najmniej z jednej przyczyny. Mianowicie temat mojego wystąpienia to kliniki prawa, wyobrażenia a rzeczywistość. Na przykładzie naszej poradni prawnej, Uniwersyteckiej Poradni Prawnej Katolickiego Uniwersytetu Lubelskiego Jana Pawła II. Skąd taki temat? Dlatego, że ja w przeciwieństwie do Oli, która miała wystąpienie przed przerwą i która opowiadała z taką pasją o samych superlatywach funkcjonowania klinik, chyba zbalansuję ten entuzjazm, ponieważ wydaje mi się, że moje wystąpienie aż tak optymistyczne nie będzie. Z tego względu, że pracuję w klinice od dawna, zdaje się od 2011 roku. I przez te 10-11 lat mam bardzo dużo doświadczeń, spostrzeżeń, które związane są z funkcjonowaniem klinik, ale przede wszystkim ze zmianami, jakie postępują. I z roku na rok niestety, ale moje obserwacje i mój entuzjazm jest coraz mniejszy. Swoje wystąpienie zatytułowałam celowo, użyłam sformułowań wyobrażenia a rzeczywistość, odwołując się do niemieckiego sein i sollen. Jak jest, a jak powinno być. I chciałabym powiedzieć w mojej ocenie, jak jest teraz. Przygotowałam sobie pewną checklistę, ponieważ są to węzłowe zagadnienia, którymi chciałabym się zająć, ale na tyle istotne, że nie chciałabym pominąć. Moja perspektywa czy moje wystąpienie nie będzie poświęcone tylko i wyłącznie mojemu stanowisku subiektywnemu i swoim subiektywnym odczuciom, ale pozwoliłam sobie na przedostatnich zajęciach klinicznych ze studentami zadać im pytania, jak oni oceniają poradnię prawną. To są studenci, którzy pracują ze mną już 2 lata, a więc doświadczyli też okresu pandemicznego, online'owej kliniki. Teraz mamy od października już stacjonarnie, trochę wcześniej już mamy stacjonarnie, bo i w semestrze letnim, więc też mają już wyobrażenie. I pierwsza kwestia. Po wczorajszym panelu pierwszym, po wczorajszej pierwszej sesji zaczęła się dyskusja na temat tego, dlaczego jest niewielu studentów, dlaczego jest niewielka motywacja, dlaczego jest niewielu klientów. I wiecie co Państwo, wzorem katolickiej uczelni zaczęłam się w pewnym momencie modlić, skończcie już tę dyskusję, bo nie będę miała o czym jutro mówić. Ponieważ przygotowałam sobie w oparciu o sprawozdania z ostatnich 3 lat liczbę studentów i liczbę spraw, które do naszej poradni trafiały. I w 2016-17 roku, to był ten punkt krytyczny, mieliśmy 273 sprawy, więc to było dużo jak na niewielką poradnię. Ale już od 2018 roku, ten rok akademicki 18-19, był bardzo duży przeskok. To już było tylko 188 spraw, później 150, w okresie pandemii 61 i teraz powoli wracamy do punktu, który jest zadowalający, bo w ubiegłym roku mieliśmy 105 spraw, więc nie ma tragedii. To jest jedna rzecz, ale druga rzecz jest taka. Dlaczego jest mniej spraw w mojej ocenie? I tutaj odwołując się do słów kolegi z Słubicy, u nas też gro klientów to są seniorzy. COVID w mojej ocenie odzwyczaił ich od przychodzenia do poradni prawnych. W okresie pandemii ci ludzie w dużej mierze pozostawali w domu, a my świadczyliśmy usługi online. Starsi ludzie, seniorzy nie potrafią sprostać oczekiwaniom polegającym na tym, że wydrukuj formularz, wydrukuj RODO, wydrukuj oświadczenie, podpisz, zeskanuj i prześlij do nas, a my przygotujemy dla ciebie opinię. To dla nich jest coś, co jest zupełnie poza możliwościami. W związku z tym w okresie pandemicznym te 61 spraw to były sprawy online'owe kierowane do nas przez młodych ludzi. Starsi ludzie się wycofali. I teraz, w tym roku, obserwując już od października, widzę, że niestety, ale seniorów jest niewielu. Głównie cały czas sprawy przychodzą online, a klientów na dyżurze jest jak na lekarstwo. Tych spraw jest wiele, ale to wynika z aktywności, które prowadzimy dodatkowo. Natomiast te dyżury, które kiedyś były oblegane, jak Filip wczoraj mówił, że były kolejki i w ogóle nie wiadomo było, co z tym zrobić, to już jest niestety, ale stety albo niestety, to zależy od punktu widzenia, relikt przeszłości. Tego nie ma. I też się z tym mierzymy. Druga kwestia. Klienci poradni w mojej ocenie są coraz bardziej roszczeniowi. Ich denerwuje czas oczekiwania na opinię 2 tygodnie, ich denerwuje to, że nikt nie udzieli ustnej porady prawnej. Przecież ja tutaj przyszedłem, ja chcę tu i teraz. Nie rozumieją tego, że tak się nie da, bo jest to sprzeczne z naszym regulaminem, zresztą ze zdrowym rozsądkiem również. No i tutaj pojawia się, wydaje mi się, że ta roszczeniowość jest wzmagana też przez to, że mamy system bezpłatnego poradnictwa i osoby, które korzystają z tych bezpłatnych porad, trochę innych, mają inne oczekiwania w stosunku do naszej poradni. To jest jedna kwestia, czyli dlaczego jest mniej klientów. Druga, no jeszcze oczywiście jest doktor Google. Jak nie wiemy, co zrobić, to doktor Google prawdę nam powie. To też jest inna bajka. Czasem zdarza się i na pewno wszyscy mamy te same doświadczenia, że przychodzą do nas ludzie, gdzie sprawa już jest zaawansowana, ale sami ją prowadzili przy pomocy adwokata dr Google. No i mamy problem. Druga kwestia. Studenci. Dlaczego jest ich mniej? Ja nie odnotowałam spadku liczby studentów, jeżeli chodzi o naszą poradnię prawną w Lublinie do tego roku, kiedy spotkała mnie bardzo nieprzyjemna niespodzianka. U nas to zainteresowanie kliniką było zawsze spore. Tych studentów było zawsze ponad 100. Mamy 8 sekcji działających bardzo dobrze, w tym sekcję mediacji. Nielicznie w klinikach taka sekcja występuje. Ona działa zupełnie inaczej niż pozostałe sekcje, ale jest i ma się świetnie. Otóż okazało się, w zasadzie to nie wiem, czy powinnam o tym mówić, ale zdecydowałam, że powiem, bo to nie jest tak, że możemy tylko zawsze wszystko chwalić. Nie. Okazało się, że w tym roku dokonano, bez mojej wiedzy, zmiany programu. I od października tego roku do kliniki prawnej mogą należeć studenci 5. roku. W związku z tym, szanowni państwo, jak u mnie na zajęciach z reguły było 30 osób, w tym semestrze mam ich 7. I to są studenci 5. roku. 7 osób przy założeniu, że ja prowadzę sekcję cywilną, gdzie obok karnej jest najwięcej spraw. Filipie, może nie chciałabym o tym mówić aż tak bardzo publicznie, Natomiast spowodowało to moją bardzo negatywną oczywiście reakcję, która doprowadziła również do tego, że zdecydowałam się wykonać telefon do dziekana i złożyć rezygnację. No bo jak gdyby nie może tak być. I to jest kolejny element, o którym powiedziała Ola. Podstawą funkcjonowania poradni prawnej, rewelacyjnego albo chociaż dobrego, jest współpraca na gruncie wydział, rektor. Jeżeli tego nie ma, jeżeli kliniki będą traktowane po macoszemu, to są same sobie, żyją swoim życiem i niewielkie mają szanse na rozwój. Bo jeżeli nie ma poparcia dziekana, jeżeli nie ma poparcia rektora, to nawiązanie relacji z samorządami, mówię tutaj o wszelkiego rodzaju samorządach, nawiązanie współpracy z kimkolwiek jest niezwykle trudne, a czasami po prostu niemożliwe. Pojawia się jeszcze kolejny problem, o którym również powiedziała Ola. Odpowiedź adwokata, mecenasa, generalnie prawnika, praktyka, a po co mi poradnia prawna i współpraca z poradnią prawną? Po co mi to? To nie jest mi potrzebne, wręcz odwrotnie, to przeszkadza. O czym często mówią publicznie w debatach prowadzonych na przykład w murach naszej uczelni. Więc jak gdyby mówiąc o liczbie studentów, to ten problem dotknął mnie w tym roku. Wiem już, że od przyszłego roku zostanie wprowadzony system naprawczy i wrócimy do starych reguł, czyli będą mogli przynależeć do poradni prawnej tak jak do tej pory studenci od 6. semestru, czyli 3. rok, już po cyklu, po kursie tych podstawowych przedmiotów. I oni będą działali na podstawie indywidualnej zgody dziekana, natomiast zgodnie z programem od 4. roku legalnie mogą działać w poradni prawnej. I teraz tak, dlaczego od 3. roku studenci mogą należeć do poradni prawnej, od 6. semestru? Dlatego, że ja przynajmniej mam taką wizję tego ZOLEN, jak powinno być, że student po tych podstawowych kursach już na 6. semestrze ma jakąś tam bazę do pracy, ale szanowni państwo, nie wiem jak to u was wygląda. Ja nie należę do osób, które pieszczą studentów. Dostajesz sprawę i masz sobie z nią poradzić. Masz się uczyć na swoich błędach, a ja ci w tym pomagam. I student 6. semestru nie jest w stanie, niestety, samodzielnie napisać dobrej opinii prawnej albo w miarę dobrej opinii prawnej. Więc jaki wypracowaliśmy system u nas? Mianowicie nazywamy go opcją shadow. Student 6. semestru nigdy nie pracuje sam. Po to w poradni są studenci 5. roku, żeby nad nimi kwokować, Ewelina. Czyli generalnie roztaczają opiekę nad studentami 3. roku i zanim opinia trafi do mnie jako koordynatora sekcji cywilnej, to jest sprawdzona przez studenta 5. roku. I to bardzo fajnie się sprawdzało do tego roku, bo nie ma już studentów 3. roku. I ja też te opcje polecam, bo to jest też bardzo duże odciążenie dla koordynatorów merytorycznych, którzy sprawdzają te opinie. To, że studenci nie mają umiejętności pisania prac pisemnych, to myślę, że większość z państwa się ze mną zgodzi. I teraz tak, jeśli chodzi o moją ocenę postawy studentów, bo to też wybrzmiało. Studenci są bardzo mało aktywni. Bardzo mało aktywni. Nie chcą wyjść poza swoją strefę komfortu, żeby zrobić coś więcej niż, jak ja to nazywam, ustawa przewiduje. I w odniesieniu do tego, o czym mówiła Ola, co jest niezwykle istotne, czyli ten team building. Powiem państwu, że poradnia nasza... Ile mam jeszcze czasu, Angelika?
6 minut.
Poradnia nasza, a zwłaszcza sekcja cywilna, do tej pory, do czasu pandemicznego, żyła jak rodzina. Teraz też tak jest, chociaż jest dużo trudniej z uwagi na zmianę tych postaw studentów, którą ja naprawdę obserwuję. I wiecie państwo, kiedy ta rodzina była w takiej pełnej krasie swojej, to fantastyczne uczucie było takie. Ja zanim pomyślałam, że trzeba coś zrobić, to ja to coś już miałam na biurku. Ja nie musiałam mówić, myśmy się porozumiewali bez słów. I to był ten team building. I to były najlepsze czasy funkcjonowania naszej poradni w Lublinie. To też bardzo mocno łechtało moje ego, szanowni państwo, bo możecie sobie wyobrazić moją minę, kiedy kończyłam 40 lat, jakiś czas temu. Wchodzę na zajęcia, a akurat to było dokładnie w dniu urodzin. Wpakowywują studenty z tortem ręcznie zrobionym, napisanymi jakimiś tam cudownymi. I jak szłam później z tym tortem częstować na wydziale osoby zaprzyjaźnione, to powiem wam, że moje ego szło daleko przede mną. Dopiero potem ja z tym tortem. Było to niesamowite doświadczenie. Oczywiście się rozwyłam na początku, no bo to wiadoma sprawa. Ale mikołajki, wigilie, śledziki zawsze u nas były w pakiecie i zawsze to było fantastyczne. Teraz niestety tego nie ma. Studenci bardzo się zmienili przez ten czas 2 lat, bardzo. I żywię nadzieję na to, że uda nam się te relacje odbudować, tę relacyjność taką no trochę rodzinną. Jeśli chodzi o postrzeganie studentów, bo muszę już kończyć.
Jeszcze 4 minuty.
Dobra. To po pierwsze. Oni stwierdzili tak, i to też wczoraj wybrzmiało, co zrobić, żeby ci studenci chcieli należeć do poradni prawnej. Oni użyli słowa, co do którego wczoraj się nie zgodziliście. Oni powiedzieli tak, poradnia musi być ekskluzywna. Wczoraj ktoś tak, powiedziałeś prestiżowa, ktoś powiedział, że niekoniecznie, a oni nawet poszli dalej, powiedzieli ekskluzywna. Żeby przynależeć do poradni, to ty musisz sobą coś zareprezentować, człowieku. Czyli ty musisz pokazać, że chcesz więcej niż tylko przejść przez studia. No i wymyślili, czy ja to wymyśliłam już dużo wcześniej, ponieważ jako jedyna na wydziale robiłam taki casting, oni to nazywali, jest casting do sekcji cywilnej. Ale powiedzieli tak, a może zróbmy coś takiego, żeby od przyszłego roku każdy, kto chce przynależeć do poradni, napisał list motywacyjny dlaczego. I to jest, uważam, bardzo dobry pomysł. A wiecie Państwo, z jakiej przyczyny? Nie dlatego, co tam będzie w tym liście motywacyjnym. Nie. Tylko ja uważam, że jeżeli komuś się zechce napisać list motywacyjny i przyjść na casting, to znaczy, że on chce czegoś więcej od życia. No i to jest jakby taki pomysł wymyślony ostatnio przez studentów. Oczywiście oni kładą też bardzo duży nacisk na to, co my robimy w poradni. Nie wiem, jak to jest u Państwa i może powinnam była od tego zacząć. Ja bym chciała, żeby ta moja prelekcja była pewnym podsumowaniem. Na końcu zadam 3 pytania i żeby była trochę takim nie kijem, ale takim kijkiem w mrowisko. Bo ja sobie wyobrażam, że jesteśmy tutaj po to, w takim fantastycznym zespole, w takim teamie, żeby wyjechać stąd z głowami pełnymi pomysłów na kilka kwestii, o których powiem już na sam koniec, zadając te 3 pytania.
2 minutki, Anetko, zadajmy
Dobra,
pytania.
więc jeszcze jedna rzecz. Studenci powiedzieli mi bardzo ważną kwestię, a mianowicie, co im daje praca w poradni? Pewność siebie. Oni, kończąc studia, jeśli przez 2,5 roku męczyli się ze mną w tej poradni, albo ja męczyłam ich, mówią do mnie, że idąc do kancelarii na rozmowę kwalifikacyjną, oni się czują dużo pewniej, bo praca w poradni pokazuje im wielopłaszczyznowość. I to, o czym rozmawialiśmy wczoraj w czasie kolacji. Studenty mówią tak, jak ja się uczyłem o przedawnieniu, no to było tylko przedawnienie, 117 i następne KC. Natomiast jak ja dostaję sprawę, gdzie jest przedawnienie, a tam jest milion innych przepisów do zastanowienia i do zastosowania, to dopiero widzę, na czym polega prawo. No i teraz tak, co robimy? Już w telegraficznym skrócie. Oczywiście robimy street law. Przed COVID-em prowadziłam zajęcia w szkole podstawowej z mediacji z dzieciakami w ramach programu street law. Teraz mamy już szkoły zgłoszone, uruchamiamy po COVID-zie. Ja sama też mam w planach prowadzić zajęcia z prawa na zajęciach WOS-u w liceach. Współpracujemy przy NCCC, to już wiadomo. Co roku w maju organizujemy konferencję, ale jest to konferencja naukowa studencko-doktorancka. To jest dla nich. Robimy raz w miesiącu warsztaty dla studentów i szkolenia.
Super.
W tym roku staramy się, aby to były takie niszowe zawody prawnicze, czyli na przykład negocjator policyjny, już było takie szkolenie, syndyk, doradca restrukturyzacyjny, ale ja nie, no dobra, to już nie będę dalej mówiła. Być może to wybrzmi w dyskusji, więc jeszcze powiem, ale chciałabym zadać te 3 pytania i już kończę. Po pierwsze, czy na podstawie tego, co ja powiedziałam i na podstawie waszych doświadczeń, tak wyobrażamy sobie funkcjonowanie poradni prawnych? Dalej. Po drugie, jak wyobrażamy sobie współpracę pomiędzy klinikami w Polsce, nie mówię z wszystkimi, ale tymi takimi hardkorowymi, które chcą trochę więcej niż tylko być? I po trzecie, co mnie bardzo intryguje, jeśli chodzi o wasze doświadczenia, pytanie nie jest nowe. Ale ja jeszcze nie uzyskałam odpowiedzi na to pytanie. Czy waszym zdaniem zajęcia w ramach kliniki powinny być obowiązkowe? Dziękuję.
Dziękujemy. Before I'm going to invite our next speaker, I was informed that we have a special artist among us. And now it's the time to show some presentation which was made during the speech of Aneta.
Panie sędzio, też mamy rozwiązanie, ponieważ o tym nie powiedziałam, ale
100% correct, I should say.
zaplanowane dyżury w zakaz parafialny. Także to nie jest tak.
So now I can properly invite our next speaker, Kerkin Berisha from University of Pristina in Kosovo. The floor is yours. But only for 20 minutes, please remember that.
No, I see here. I can, no problem. Okay. Just 1 second. Thank you very much for the invitation to be a part of this conference. My presentation, Legal Clinics from Kosovo Perspective, the Way Forward, is prepared together with my colleagues, Professor Vokri and Professor Muchai. However, I will present myself here, but if they want to raise any questions or to add something in my presentation, I would be happy. The title of presentation, the Legal Clinics from Kosovo Perspective, the Way Forward, intends to provide information of the historical development of legal clinics at Kosovo, especially at Pristina University, which we represent here. But during preparing this presentation, I have analyzed as well the development of legal clinics at other public universities in Kosovo. Especially, I have analyzed curricula of legal clinics in most of public universities in Kosovo, because more or less we have included in all higher education legal clinics in the form that we have included in Pristina University. But in our case, I think we have done some extra steps forward to improve legal clinics in terms of live clinics that I will briefly present here. And I think my colleague Vokri in the second session, in the session after the lunch, I think we'll discuss in the debate about legal clinics. Okay. A brief background about the development of legal clinics in Kosovo. Initially, legal clinics were introduced in Kosovo legal education system in Pristina University, because Pristina University was the only public university in Kosovo until a few years ago. And as a result, the first legal clinics were introduced in Pristina University in support of development of new curricula by USID, and especially implemented in cooperation with American Bar Association, Rule of Law Initiative. Initially, it started quite early, like 2004, 2005, when we introduced in our university some reforms on legal education. And gradually, those temporary courses have been introduced within the curricula of the law faculty of University of Pristina. Initially in civil law and criminal law, and later they have been extended to other subjects like fiscal law or family law or other clinics. The idea at the beginning definitely was to introduce something more practical in the legal education system in Kosovo, as an addition to the theoretical part of education of students at our system. When they were introduced, the idea was to go beyond what we have developed during this 15 years from 2005 to recently. And the idea was to have live clinics. So at the beginning, the idea was to have live clinics. So if you see the goals of this initial program supported by donors, in particular American Bar Association, you will see that the outcomes of all these courses where to learn legal analysis and interpretation, developing legal writing skills, how to interview clients, to learn how to negotiate and mediate on their behalf where appropriate, to learn how to develop a case, to learn how to incorporate ethical practices into their activities, and of course instructions were supposed to include both classroom discussion and field work. How much has achieved our legal education system to implement all of this is another issue. When analyzing all these legal clinic courses in Pristina University and other public universities in Kosovo, including private universities, I could say the same for private universities as well in Kosovo. I think during this last 15 years of development of legal clinics have not managed to fully achieve the initial objectives as they were projected by donors and Pristina University. However, we can clearly say that legal clinics have provided important practical knowledge and skills for students. And later in my later slides, I will show the perspective from our students at Pristina University, because I did a short survey with my colleagues just for the purpose of this presentation to see what do they think about the legal clinics that have been developed in the past, and what is their perception for the development of legal clinics in the future. And definitely everyone thinks that some practical knowledge has been gained from these legal clinics that we had until now, but they expect more. Definitely they expect more in form of live legal clinics and more practical knowledge to be gained from these courses. Those clinics that we had so far, they have managed to provide some knowledge on legal analysis and interpretation, some development writing skills, but mostly on hypothetical cases, not real cases, because we do not have, well, we didn't have the chance so far to implement live clinics. The situation, it's a bit different comparing to Poland, I think, with regard to what free aid agency can do in case of Kosovo, because Kosovo free legal aid agency can open local offices in different cities of Kosovo, and as well mobile offices where free legal aid is provided around the country. And they can do it in cooperation with NGOs. And when I go back to the future development of law clinics, I will briefly talk about the possibility that we will use now in terms of starting live clinics in joint cooperation with free legal aid agency. So mostly current legal clinical education is based on hypothetical cases, some instructions in the classroom provided sometimes by judges and lawyers, but not in all legal clinical programs. It depends from the professor. What was positive of the past support from donors and from the engagement of the University of Pristina and other universities was that legal clinical education was included within the curricula of our universities. Right now we have, I think, about 8 courses only in the law faculty of University of Pristina related to legal clinics, which I think will be the same in the future when we develop further legal clinic courses. All of them are elective courses. But the number of students that attended, based on the survey as well, is quite high. It means that about 90% of our students have attended at least one of legal clinic courses at our university. This is based on a survey that I did with my colleagues, with students of the law faculty of Pristina University. And Pristina University has about 5,000 active students currently, which means it's a huge faculty. Only in Faculty of Law, I'm saying. 4,000 students only in the Faculty of Law of University of Pristina. So we accept about 600 new students only in bachelor's. Normally, legal clinical education starts from the second year and to master programs. Like 95% of students, based on this survey, have attended at least one of the courses. So we have asked all students of Faculty of Law if they have attended, and a huge number of them have replied. And for sure, I can trust on this information. Which are the most attended clinics? Well, the most attended clinics are those related to civil law. Civil law clinic with about 58% of students of law faculty. Family law and inheritance law is one clinic. It's like 45%. Then criminal law. Then administrative and constitutional law and fiscal law. So you can see the difference in numbers. On the questions, if the clinics have benefited to the knowledge of students, to the practical knowledge of students, we have received this percentage of responding. So like 58% of students think that the clinics have had good impact on drafting different forms of documents. As I said, in most of cases, these are hypothetical documents, not real documents. Then like 57%, they think that clinics had impact in better understanding of applicable law. 54% on practical implementation of legislation, 40% improving their legal argumentation. And as you can see, only 33% think that legal clinics have positive impact for preparation of students on labor market, which is one good reason why I think clinics should be improved and related more to a practical implementation of legislation based on the market needs. How practical were clinical subjects according to students? Like 64% think they are little practical. 25% think a lot, and like 11% responded that clinics were not practical at all, so they think that it's just another course like other theoretical courses. 98% of students thinks that the legal clinics should be developed in that way that providing pro bono legal advice for clients would be the best choice, and most they will benefit most from this form of legal clinics. And I think the perspective of the Faculty of Law of University of Pristina is going in this direction. Faculty of Law of University of Pristina has already started to improve and to reform legal clinical education. In particular, with introducing live clinics in joint implementation with Free Legal Aid Agency. Already some MOUs have been signed, and I think very soon live clinics will start at Faculty of Law, University of Pristina. No problem. I'm of course, initially students will be and should be trained by agency, and in addition, I think more efforts should be played by faculty of law to engage more staff from legal professions like judges, lawyers, and other professions on supervising legal clinical education in the future, to ensure that the purpose of live clinics is properly implemented in practice. The second form of improving legal education at the Faculty of Law, University of Pristina, is introducing specialized certificate courses, which will be elective courses. Just to add, both of them, live clinics and specialized certificate courses, will have credits, and they will be considered as courses within the Faculty of Law of University of Pristina. So students have some benefits to elect these courses. Of course, the first one will be limited to a lower number of students, and the second one will be open for more students. The second form of specialized certificate courses will be more or less in the courses that we already have, but it will be more practical in terms of having as lecturers as well judges, lawyers, and prosecutors, depending on the topic of the course. Key issues to be taken into consideration are proper training and supervision for students for live legal clinics. This is very important because the undertaking is huge. I mean, especially at the beginning of implementation of legal clinics. Establishing a functional mechanism for review of cases on live legal clinics by professors, lawyers, and legal free aid agency. Updating the curricula to reflect the labor market requirements in cases of specialized legal clinics courses. We are already in the process of reaccreditation of all programs, and it would be very important for Faculty of Law, University of Pristina, to improve the curricula related to legal clinics, which is already foreseen in the drafts of these curriculas, and implementing best practices on legal clinical education, including those from Poland and Croatia, for example, and UK, and of course, we, as I said at the beginning, we have had a lot of support from United States government through USID and American Bar Association, so their practices would be good to take into consideration when we continue with improvement of our legal clinical education. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was in time.
Perfect timing.
Thank you.
So I'm quite waiting for the next picture. And I even tried in my head to translate. I guess it will be like Blind Eye of Temida, right? So I can invite our next speaker. It's gonna be Victoria Medjoshaite. I hope I pronounced that correctly. I practiced before. From the University of Vilnius in Lithuania. Just a formal reminder, we have 20 minutes.
Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Victoria Medjoshaite. I'm a general manager of Vilnius University Legal Clinic. And today I'm going to present how our legal clinic works as a provider of state-guaranteed legal aid. So as I understand from all the presentations, it's not often that legal clinics are providers of state-guaranteed legal aid. So I will speak about that. Yeah, of course. Maybe I'll just take it because it'll be easier for me then.
Should we start from the beginning and it was recorded already? Mamy zacząć od początku, czy...
Yeah, I didn't say anything that important. It's just the start. Yeah, so a bit of a table of contents. So I will start with history of Vilnius University Legal Clinic very shortly. Then about numbers, how are we working, how many students do we have, how many consultations we provide. Then legal basis for legal clinics to be legal aid providers, procedure of becoming a legal aid provider, scope of primary state legal aid, and of course advantages and disadvantages of this model of working for legal clinics. So our legal clinic was established in 1998, so quite a long time ago. And our founders were Vilnius University Student Representation, and also a law firm. So these three founders are still very present in our managing, like as board members. And our legal clinic is an NGO, and it's also a legal entity, a separate legal entity. It's not under the faculty. And the legal entity's form is public institutions. So I don't know if that's like the same in Poland, the public institution form, but it's that. And I included some pictures. So the two pictures on the left are from the original opening in 1998. So we do see a president of Republic of Lithuania, like telling a speech, and also opening the clinic with this like ribbon. And then in 2016, we had like a reopening because our office was upgraded, and for some time, legal clinic was not that active in all of the consultation providing because I think it didn't have a manager that would be very active. So after we had a bit like a younger and more active manager, the legal clinic reopened in 2016. And now from this 2016, it's working like full speed. So some numbers it's a bit hard to say about numbers in 1998 and 2016 at that moment, but I tried to make some approximate numbers, and it should have been around like 500, 600 students during that time, about 50,000, 60,000 consultations. The supervisors, like, that's just a number of supervisors at the moment, probably. Maybe they changed. There was different professors coming in, some going out from the legal clinic. And hours, it's quite a lot, but it's of course because every student works at least like 18 or 20 hours a week in the legal clinic. 2021 numbers are exact. So we had 29 students. Students change every half a year. So we had 15 students in one semester and 14 students in another. We provided 6,449 consultations. So I think it was our biggest number so far. And I'm kind of actually hopeful that we are not going to surpass that number because it's quite a lot. And we had 21 supervisors. Some of them are more active. Some of them are just answering 1 or 2 questions through the year. And ours is 30,000, like something hours. At the moment, we have 11 students, each working 18 to 20 hours a week. It's like what they are expected to work. Practically, I think they are working a bit more, but I can't of course check what they are doing at home. So it is expected to provide around 5,000 consultations, and most common topic of consultations, and that's one different that I see what we have from Polish legal clinics, is civil, family, inheritance, employment law, and also debts and bailiffs activities. It's not criminal law. Criminal law is not the most popular topic of conversations and consultations. So we do provide consultations in criminal law, but it just recently we started doing that more actively. Usually we try to make people go to secondary legal aid if they need help with criminal law issues. So, legal basis for legal clinics as providers for primary legal aid. So this is the article from the Republic of Lithuania Law on State Guaranteed Legal Aid, and it's 2000, it was adopted in 2000s, so it's from that period of time. And when I was preparing for this presentation, I contacted one professor in Vilnius University who was preparing the draft for this law. And I was kind of hoping that it was a bit hard to put legal clinics in this law, and maybe there was some discussions, and maybe it was like not a thing that legislators wanted to include. And he said, like, no, it was just no discussions. We just put that in, and it was very simple. And I was like, okay, there goes my presentation. Like, I can't say anything then. But of course, laws is one thing, and implementation is completely other. So maybe the one thing that I would want to notice there is that in this law, it says that public institutions shall have the right to provide legal aid. So it's not very imperative. It's just they have an opportunity to do that, but it's not that they must do that. It's not that all legal clinics must do that or something. Also, they shall have the right to enable law students, and they are doing that based on contracts with the executive bodies of local self-government. So local self-government is probably where most discussions happened. So the legal basis came into effect in 2000s. And then I think maybe I did something wrong here because I see the year is the same. So this is 2022 version of the same law. I just didn't change the year apparently. But yeah, this is how it looks now. So now it has a bit of more like concrete, specific saying, like how the legal clinics provide primary legal aid. So they have to conclude contracts for the provision of primary legal aid with a municipality's institution. And yeah, of course, they still have the right to provide law students with possibility of legal internship. So this is the main place where all the discussions happened, was discussions with municipalities and convincing them that if law students provide legal aid, it's good for them, it's better for them, it's easier for them. Because usually in Lithuania, primary legal aid is provided by municipality lawyers and also like some public institutions, but actually it's only one, it's only us, and some law firms. So yeah, so the municipality was not that convinced that it's good for them to give like some % of their budget to legal clinics to provide their like job. So yeah, and one of the main reasons why legal clinics were included in this law as legal aid providers was simply speaking just finance, because you can get money for providing legal aid. And at that moment, because our legal clinic was already established in 1998, in 2000s, like it was kind of noticeable that they don't have any funds and you have to get the funds somehow. So this was one of the way to get the funds. So the procedure to become a legal aid provider is quite easy. It's a public procurement procedure. It happens usually every 3 years, because the longest that a contract can happen for is 3 years. And public institutions just participate in that procedure. It's, I wouldn't say that it's very difficult, the procedure itself. You have to, of course, read a lot of documents and prepare a lot of documents, but it's like a few months of work. It's not like crazy difficult. And the difficult thing might be the technical specification for the services. And this technical specification is in the public procurement procedure. So every legal aid provider have to have premises for services. They might not be owned, but you still have to have the right to use them for the whole period of the contract. Premises have to be with disabled access. Also, we have to provide daily consultations, so you can't really have periods of time where the legal clinic is not working. We have to provide legal advice on all areas of law, so that also sometimes is a problem for students because not all law areas are easy enough for students. Then you have to have a lawyer assisting students full time. So in the contract, it says that there has to be a person with a master's degree all the time with students. So not supervisors who are coming and going, but a person all the time. So I am that person. Then we have to provide immediate legal help. So, or at the latest within 5 days. So that's also a bit of a hard thing because the golden standard would be that a person comes in and he or she gets a consultation immediately and they leave and they like won't come back for the same thing. Yes? It depends. We do provide like in written form and also like in speaking. So the consultations that are with people coming in our office is spoken consultations. Some people ask for also written consultation, but usually it's enough to just receive an answer like that.
Number 5,000 consultations per year. It's like one-time consultations most of the time, or you're taking the case and analyzing it through.
Because we every time a person comes to our office, we register a person. So that number is every registration. So some people can come more than one time. Yes. It's amount of consultations. It's not exactly amount of like applicants for consultations, but it is pretty close because most people are coming for one-time consultation and then maybe they come back after a few years or something. And also translation for applicants who do not speak Lithuanian. So that's usually, if an applicant is speaking English, it's okay because students usually speak English. But if a person speaks Russian, then at this time it's a bit hard because students, people like 2021, they don't really speak Russian anymore, and that might be a problem. And of course, if a person would speak like Spanish or French, we would also have to provide the service somehow. So Google Translator sometimes is a very good friend. Okay, and the scope of primary state legal aid. So legal consultations advice, it's both written and both spoken. It says up to 1 hour, it's more about spoken advice, of course. And it's up to 1 hour for one person for one question. So one person can come repeatedly with different questions, but at one moment it should be like up to 1 hour. Also complaints and letters to state municipal authorities. So these are the ones that our clients really like to write sometimes. So it is sometimes hard to say to them that the complaint is not justified and maybe we shouldn't write that, but then we also know based on the contract with municipality that we have to do that, like it's in our contract. Advice on a peaceful settlement of disputes, drafting a settlement agreement. So that's of course maybe one of the more important lawyers no, I forgot the word, but it's okay. And also some court documents. So about court documents, they only quite recently added that to the law, I think in 2020. To be fair, our legal clinic was preparing court documents way earlier, and not only these court documents, like sometimes we even do claims if a person is a bit above the funds that you need to get secondary legal aid, a free lawyer, but maybe they still don't have enough funds for a private lawyer. So maybe we sometimes do claims, but we are not very into it doing more than we should do because it's of course extra work, and of course we can't represent people in court. So it's like you do just half the work and then you leave a person on their own. So yeah, we draft divorce by mutual consent documents, court authorizations, and some other documents. Yeah, it's the end. So advantages and disadvantages of legal clinics as providers of state legal aid. So advantages would be effective student practice. It's definitely very hands-on. It's very diverse. There's a lot of many different legal issues. Students do not get bored every single day a new person comes. It's very interesting. Some consultations are harder, some are easier, but it's definitely very effective practice. Large number of applicants because we do provide state legal aid, so other institutions sometimes send people to us, so we definitely have a lot of clients coming. It's not, there's no problem with attracting people to our legal clinic. It's maybe a problem to not attracting people to our legal clinic. And the possibility to help vulnerable people is also a very big thing because we really help a lot of people and not the people who wouldn't get legal aid in different circumstances. Permanent funding from the municipality, I would say it's also a very, very big plus, but to be fair, it's not that much. So it's not something that would, for an NGO, it's definitely needed. But if your legal clinic has a funding source of from some other source, so that might not be needed for you. Possibility to participate in funding tenders as a public service provider. So these are just participation in projects for funding from the government. So if a manager has time for that, then of course, if you are a public service provider, it's a bit easier to you, like to fit the criteria. Visibility and respectability, we're definitely visible. A lot of people knows us, and like that's a good thing probably. And some training from the government. So we do have a government institution which is like supervising primary and secondary legal aid. So we do have some training from them. Then disadvantages. The same large number of applicants, it's a bit of, sometimes it's too hard for students to have enough time for each legal consultation. Because there's so many people, you can't really like have enough time to get into consultation and like to research all the acts, all the practice, everything. It's just too much, like too many people. Some legal problems are too complex for students. So of course we can consult our supervisors, but that takes time. And people usually want their answers like as soon as possible, especially the ones who know that we have to provide the answer immediately or within 5 days. Less flexibility in the time and scope of work. So even during the exam season, we still have to work. So that's also not a good thing for students. We manage, we like reduce our amount of consultations, but it's also a thing that you should consider. We are working through the summer. Well, students can take holidays, but and I don't really, like they can take however many days they want, but yeah, we are still working. Some additional administrative burdens, so all the documents that you have to give to the state and to municipalities, so that's also like additional things. Funding does not match the workload, like the funding we have from municipalities, definitely not too much. Emotionally difficult applicants who abuse their rights to legal aid. So I think a lot of legal clinics like have this problem sometimes, but when you have to provide legal aid, you can't really say no. There are some circumstances where you can say no to a person, but mostly you have to provide legal aid. So that might be difficult. And need for the institution to have its own premises or permanent access to premises. So sometimes it's also not possible for some legal clinics maybe. So to summarize, I would say that even though there are more disadvantages in this slide than advantages in this one, at the moment I wouldn't change it. I think it's a good system, but there are some things that you should consider if you would want to implement the system, because maybe, for example, in Poland, that wouldn't be a problem because you have so many legal clinics, and legal clinics, like the workload evens out. When we have one legal clinic, like we have two others, but I don't know how much, they are definitely not state legal aid providers, and they are focusing more on legal education. We are focused more on legal aid. It's a bit hard. So maybe you wouldn't have these problems, but for us, it is definitely not too easy to be state legal aid providers, but also at this moment, I wouldn't imagine any other way how to work in legal clinics. And I think for students, it's definitely a very, very good opportunity to really feel like lawyers and be lawyers. So to summarize the last sentence, one of the board members of our legal clinic said that the work that we do is like military training. So that's like the thing that I would I would summarize it with. Like, of course, you get a lot of experience. Of course, you after that you are very not experienced only, but you are prepared mentally and theoretically for a lawyer's job, maybe. But it is a military training. It's a lot of rolling around in the mud through the moment. So. Thank you for your attention. If you have any more questions, you can, of course, contact me or ask me during the conference. Thank you.
Thank you. So I do believe the third time is a charm, and I'm really hoping to see the next piece of art which was created during this presentation. Oh, even two. So our next speaker is Evgenia Gugulan from Academy Stefan Selmare of Ministry of Internal Affairs, Republic of Moldova.
Hello to everyone. I'm glad to see you and to be a part of this very important event. And today I want to represent some aspects through legal clinics in the Republic of Moldova. And 1 second, I wanted to put my presentation. Probably I will.
Możemy kogoś poprosić o wsparcie techniczne.
If somebody, Piotr, if you can help me, please. Can you manage, please? Please.
But don't worry, it's going to be still 20 minutes.
Okay, I know it. Yes.
Notuję wam dokładnie, kto której zaczyna. Jak w szkole. Doliczę. Liczę minuty jak w meczu. Dobrze, Ania, mówisz. Tak. Musi być uczciwie. 20 minut, to każdy musi dostać uczciwe 20 minut.
Okay.
You have this
I don't know how to, because Alexander said that it's, if you can take it away. Like this. No.
You can change it now.
Okay. Let's do it.
Start.
Yeah. I am sorry. Okay, my name is Evgenia Gugulan. I'm professor assistant at Academy, the staff and the grade of Ministry of Internal Affairs. In this presentation, I will spoke about the role and place of legal clinics of the Republic of Moldova in the higher legal education system for training of legal and applied for professional skills. According to Article 20 of the Constitution of Republic of Moldova, named Free Access to Justice, in the case of violation of citizens' rights, freedoms and fundamental interests, every person has the right to the reinstatement of the effective rights by the competent court. Also, no law can restrict it to justice. Also, I want to mention that according to Article 26, the right to defense, this right is guaranteed. Everyone has the right to respond independently by legal enforcement means to evaluation of citizen rights and freedoms. Through the proceedings, the parties have the right to a lawyer assistance of their choice or an employed lawyer. Interference in the activities of defense counsel within the prescribed limits is punishable by law. In accordance with need to protect the right to fair trials, as established in Article 6 of Convention for the Protection of Human Rights and Fundamental Freedoms, including the needs of ensure free and equal access to legal assistance, by organizing and providing state-guaranteed legal support, as well as reducing financial and economical obstacles to access to justice, the law on state-guaranteed legal aid was adopted. Our national law guaranteed and established the right to some categories of citizens that can get free legal aid on a number of matters specified by law, demonstrates that the state's interest is solving the problems of ordinary people who cannot always afford to pay for services, often professional lawyer due to their financial situation. The law, according to this, our national act, we can mention above two types of legal assistance guaranteed by the state. It's about primary legal aid that it's formed of information of legal system of Republic of Moldova, normative acts in force, rights and obligations of subject of law, ways of exercising and enjoying the rights in court and out of court, legal advice, assistance in drafting legal documents, other forms of assistance not falling under the definition of qualified legal aid. Also, our law, national law, permitted to accord qualified legal assistance, provision of legal advice. In this way, the representation or defense in criminal, administrative, civil or administrative court proceedings, representation before public administration authorities. According to this law, was focused some objectives that state guaranteed legal assistance. In this way, we can provide also information and advice and interpretation of legal questions. We can prepare the documents containing the substance of the law, representation before public authorities, defense of interest of a suspect, accused person, or defendant in criminal proceedings, protection and representation of accused persons, protection and representation of children, victims of crime and victims of domestic violence, protection of the interest of a person within administrative offices proceedings, in civil proceedings and administrative proceedings. In the context of financial inequalities in the modern world, not all citizens can get legal assistance provided by legal professionals for free. Usually it happens on fee-paying basis. That is why the providing legal clinics free legal services are currently of great importance. Since the categories of citizens and problematic issues on which a lawyer can provide free qualified assistance is law restricted, particularly university legal clinics can eliminate these problematic aspects of legal regulation and provide free legal assistance to applicants. If we will spoke about original meaning of legal clinic, it's appeared in the United States in 1920 of 20th century, expressing a tendency to teach university students about practical competencies. It was a transposition of the concept of implementation aspects in the study of law, promoted by the realist law movement, composed of well-known realist scientists into the legal education curriculum. One of them was Jerome Frank, who in 1933 published an article for the University of Pennsylvania Law Review with a rhetorical title, "Why not create a clinic for lawyers?" In his paper, Frank provides an analogy between the clinical training of lawyers in medical training, suggesting that adopting the model of training from medical institution would encourage the establishment of legal clinics. The original method used was so-called practical case study. It is a method developed by Professor Christopher Langell at Harvard. The essence of this method was that the students should not only analyze the legal theories and concepts, but also should study the solutions to discuss de facto and legal issues that came out in the case, the specific decisions, the analysis of the evidence and its reasoning, the legal basis, and etc. Meanwhile, the work in the legal clinic has evolved from optional to compulsory. The class hours were qualified as academic hours for both for students and for teachers. The American model today offers three options for organizing legal clinics. It's about university clinic or a district country clinic located outside the university, allowing students to work with real clients. The second is special street law legal clinics, an example of legal clinics without a real client. And the third is internship, where students work outside the university together with lawyers in real cases. In Europe, the first legal clinic appeared in Poland at the University Jagielloński Krakow in 1997. A special characteristic of clinical education in Poland is that the clinics entered into cooperation agreements with the ombudsman to conduct joint legal education activities. In comparative aspects, in Netherlands, legal clinics provide primary assistance. This type of assistance is offered by an officer where additionally to professional lawyers, students also work. There is a particular case in higher education where students acquire practical skills through legal assistance to individuals and socially vulnerable groups. The main assistance is provided by private lawyers or law offices where the customers can be referred to in a case when specialized assistance or representation is needed. If we will refer on practice which is in the Republic of Moldova, we can say that in the Republic of Moldova in 1998, with the support of the Soros Foundation Moldova, it was founded the first legal clinic. In 1999, it was registered as the Ministry of Justice with the same status of public association. Today, legal clinics are part of the non-governmental system of free legal assistance and are established based on higher education institutions to provide legal support and legal education to the population. The Moldovan law on state-guaranteed legal aid provides for the administration of the system of state-guaranteed legal aid, which is carried out by Ministry of Justice of Republic of Moldova. 2 is about the Bar Association, and 3rd is the National Council of Legal Aid guaranteed by the state and its territorial offices. However, Article 35 of this Moldovan law regulates the possibility for public association to provide qualified legal assistance except for representation in criminal proceedings and cases of administrative offenses. The National Council can engage in agreements with public association through the territorial offices to provide qualified legal assistance under the legislation by force. Currently, the legal clinic have 5 objectives. It's about educational, it's meaning professional training or future lawyers. The second is social, directly aimed at providing legal assistance to citizens. Education on legal ethics, own attitude towards the activity of lawyers as a professional. Communication skill of a consultant and a client. Research, carrying out research activities related to the activities of the clinics. In the activities of contemporary legal clinics, it's possible to identify several areas that are according to the competencies envisaged in the curricula of higher legal education. in particular scientific, educational, and practical areas. For example, the scientific direction contributes to acquiring such competence as mastering the methods of independent education and research work by writing term papers, gradation theses, scientific publications, and essays, as well as participation in scientific circle work, section, conferences, roundtables with a use of scientific materials. On the other hand, the practical orientation of the legal clinics contributes to the development of competencies such as ability to apply legal regulations, acquire skills in prepare legal documents, and make decisions under the law. The educational focus of the legal clinics contributes to increasing the cognitive activity of the students taking part in their activities. What is the significance of legal clinics for future lawyers? Firstly, students acquire a legal culture, and secondly, the skills to analyze law enforcement practice. Furthermore, they develop and improve their theoretical knowledge. Thus, participation in the work of legal clinic contributes to the acquisition of professional competencies necessary for lawyers in their practice. Next, we would like to concentrate on the forms of work of legal clinic. The analysis of the activities of legal clinics established based on higher education institution allows to conclude their forms of activity. It should be noted that the most frequent activity forms are personal consulting, telephone consulting, and remote consulting using the internet. However, it is difficult for students to perform their customer consulting without additional training. Therefore, a person's first contact with the legal clinic is limited only to students obtaining the necessary information about the citizen and the person's issue. Next, the student and their teacher, using the relevant legal framework, study the person's problem and then prepare an answer. Afterwards, on his or her appeal, a meeting is arranged with the person. It should be noted that the citizens' applications relate to various legal areas. Often, citizens' appeals relate to issues that fall within the competence of civil proceedings. At the same time, there may also be questions relating to criminal and administrative proceedings. Therefore, it is presumed that legal professors from different fields, as well as legal practitioners, should be involved in the work of the legal clinic. However, this is not always possible. First and foremost, this is due to the financial incentives for teachers. This problem might be solved by including work in a legal clinic as part of overall teaching load. This is the only way of dealing with the financial necessities of teaching staff. This is only way of dealing. It assumes that there are other ways of solving this problem depending on the capacity of the higher educational institution. At the same time, it should be taken into consideration the interest of students for the work in a legal clinic. It was mentioned that it's possible to involve the students in the activity of legal clinic by including a particular course in curriculum. Such a specific course would allow students to consolidate the knowledge acquired during lectures and seminars, and it would also allow them to apply this knowledge in practice. And finally, the success of legal training through clinics fuels the further development of this area, which provides students with unique opportunities to consolidate theoretical knowledge gained through creative methods and interactive means on the one hand, and on the other hand, the possibility of the practical application of knowledge through providing free legal assistance related to resolving cases, drafting procedural documents, promoting the legal culture of the citizen. Yeah, and as conclusion, I want to mention that in our institution, in the Police Academy, we haven't such legal clinics, but I want to mention that we realized all the objectives that are mentioned in our national act, because we are involved in different activities. And in the Republic of Moldova, we have around only 3 legal clinics, and they have the status of public associations, like they haven't some financial support from universities or from government. It's like it's like an NGO activities, yeah, and we have a lot of things to take from your legal practice, because it's a good opportunity to apply and another way of legal assistance for citizens who hasn't some financial possibilities to take a good lawyer, to take a good legal consultation. And in our institution, in our academy, I suppose that I will return back at home, and I will give to my supervisors some ideas about to create a legal clinic near or such a part of our academy. But it involves some more forces, because we have specific statutes, because all our students practically are police officers, future police officers, and we had a different legal framework, and we will see. But in our state, we didn't have a legal normative framework that is regulated the legal organization of legal clinics. Yeah. Thank you a lot. If somebody have some questions, I'm here. Thank you a lot.
Thank you. We already have few questions. So I guess everyone expecting what comes next. I hope it's a promise for an evening that we will be able to taste this good cognac from Moldova. So our next speaker is Krystyna Moriak-Protopopova. Sorry, I hope I pronounced that correctly. Oh, but I see that you're going to be actually presenting in Polish.
Super. Dzień dobry. Witam Państwa. Dziękuję Uniwersytetowi Szczecińskiemu, Urzędu, Pani Aleksandrze za takie pyszne organizacje tego spotkania. Dziękuję wszystkim kolegom, którzy tu są z powodu pracy poradni prawnych. Z okoliczności zewnętrznych prezentacji nie gotowałam, bo Lwów jest tym miastem, które podczas ostatniej ataki rakietowej bardzo pocierpiało od Rosji i światła prawie nie mamy przez cały tydzień, a jeśli mamy 2, 3, 4 godziny, to tak staramy się coś zrobić w pracy i w domu, to niestety proszę mi Państwo wybaczyć, że będzie tak trochę spontanno mówić, ale od całego serca.
Myślę, że mogę powiedzieć w imieniu wszystkich, że jesteśmy i tak pod ogromnym wrażeniem, że możesz być z nami i zaprezentować swoją część prezentacji.
Naprawdę sama jestem pod tym wrażeniem, bo bardzo mi się nie chciało zostawiać w domu męża i dzieci, bo wcale martwię się. Ja tutaj siedzę, patrzę, że gdzieś się szerzy trwoga rakietowa i to tak, no, ale już, no, niestety człowiek jest taki, że przyzwyczai się do wszelkich sytuacji i myślę, że my też przyzwyczaimy się, bo ta wojna na długo. Więc kliniki prawne. Między innymi klinika prawna w Lwowie. Ja mogłam spostrzegać robotę kliniki prawnej w Lwowie od samego początku. Ja wtedy studiowałam prawo jak student. Byłam studentem 4. kursu, kiedy u nas, myślę jak i u Państwa, tak jak mówiono wczoraj, że na pieniądze amerykańskich grantów, tak, nasz jeden profesor odkrył kliniki prawne. To był rok 1900, z liczebnikiem mam problem, 1999. Tak, no, rok przed 2000. Zrobiono u nas, wydzielono nam audytorium, w którym zrobiono piękny remont, postawiono taką, no jak na te czasy, technikę ofisną bardzo dobrą, którą nie mieli nawet niektóre poradnie takie zawodowe. I oddano studentom kluczyki od tych poradni. No to, co by sobie Państwo zrozumiało. Myślę, że to taki był początek do połowy amatorski, bo gdyż kliniki prawne w tych czasach funkcjonowały, no, za moją informacją, tylko w Kijowie i w Doniecku. Tak? Oni odkryli się na 2 lata szybciej. Co robić z tymi klinikami jeszcze naprawdę nikt nie znał, ale niech się Państwo nie martwią, że my byli takimi no, nieprofesjonalnymi. Naprawdę tam zebrali się ludzie wszystkie, którzy już mieli doświadczenie zawodowe. Na przykład ja jako kierownik tej kliniki, to już pracowałam, zmieniłam już 2 miejsca pracy, tak? Pracowałam radnikiem prawnym w 2 przedsiębiorstwach i tacy były i inni studenci, którzy się tam zebrali, około 10 człowiek. Jak mówiła pani, zaraz to sobie przypomnę, pani Aneta, także klinika ma proponować coś ekskluzywne. To w naszym wypadku to był bardzo wielki ekskluzyw, gdyż dostaliśmy nie tylko możliwość konsultowania i praktykowania zawodowego, ale i taką przestrzeń dla odpoczynku, której nie mieliśmy do tego, tak? I zebrali, no, ja tak sobie, no, jesteśmy towarzyszami do tej pory, nasz pierwszy zespół studentów i z tego zespołu mamy jednego doktora habilitowanego, 2 zwykłych doktorów, 3 aktywisty ekologii, prawo ekologiczne, no i tam są jeszcze pracownicy międzynarodowych firm prawnych, wszystkie są uspieszni w swojej dziedzinie. Te kliniki, które jak wiemy zaczynały się w Stanach od jeszcze tych czasów, kiedy szła walka o prawa człowieka, tak? Wtedy oni tam się rozpoczęli, ale Galicja ma już dawną tradycję konsultowania w trakcie pro bono, tak? Na korzyść suspilstwa, gromady, takiej bezpłatnej poradni prawnej. Lecz to były w tych czasach adwokaty galicyjskie, nie wiem jak polskie, tak? Bo specjalnie nie dostrzegałam, nasi ukraińskie adwokaty, to oni konsultowali członków gromady ukraińskiej, które często były niezabezpieczone i wtedy była taka praktyka, że każdy adwokat był nie tylko pracownikiem zawodowym, a i doktorem na Wydziale Prawa i załączał do tej roboty studentów. To ja myślę, że jeszcze z tych czasów można spostrzegać spróby zorganizować takie poradnie prawne tylko w ramach zawodowej pracy adwokatów, który on robił na korzyść gromady bezopłatnie. Co się tyczy działalności dalszej i spróby legalizacji tych klinik, no to w Ukrainie mamy najpierw to rozkaz Ministerstwa Edukacji od 2006 rok, który jest czynny do tych czasów, który zatwierdził zразкове ułożenie o poradniu prawną uczelni prawniczej. Nie wiem, czy dobrze tłumaczę nas, no ale myślę, że Państwo rozumie, o czym, że tak. To te typowe ułożenie działa po dzisiejszy dzień. Co się tyczy zakonu Ukrainy o edukacji wyższej, to tam są tylko upominanie, że może uniwersytet odkrywać kliniki prawne. Nie ma zaznaczenia, czy są one obowiązkowe, czy nieobowiązkowe. Dalej mamy w 2010 roku ustawa o судочинстві і суддях, nie wiem jak to przetłumaczyć, status суддів, w której zakazano było, żeby uczestnik w sprawie cywilnej mógł w ustnej formie złożyć doręczenie na ręce jakiejś osobie, co by było zaprotokolowano i by działało. To od 2010 roku nie wolno już bez notarialnego doręczenia przedstawiać interesy klientów w sądach. I to ten rok, który bardzo uskładniał robotę poradni prawnych, bo do tego czasu student po prostu szedł z swoim klientem do sądu, gdzie klient w ustnej formie zajawiał, że chce, żeby ten student przedstawiał go interesy w sądzie. Tylko notarialnie. A jak rozumie Państwo, że jeśli notarialnie, to trzeba płacić pieniążki. A klienci nasi, jak i wasi, to też warstwy niezamożnej lub pensjonery i dla nich to nie jest tak ciekawe. Dalej gorzej, bo w 2011 roku przyjmują zakon, zaraz chwileczkę zacytuję, jak ten się zakon nazywa, bezpłatna, tak? Bezpłatna podstawowa pomoc prawna. Według tego zakonu było przewidziano, że w Ukrainie rozgorta się sieć państwowych poradni prawnych, gdzie będą pracować już wykształceni prawniki i będą bezpłatno nadawać podstawową prawną pomoc w wyglądzie konsultacji, składania jakichś skarg, doręczeń itd. I z tych czasów, szczerze mówiąc, działalność poradni prawnych w Ukrainie uniwersyteckich zaczyna zaniepadać, gdyż ludzie mają wybór zwracać się do nas za poradą, czy do tych poradni i zawsze oczywiście oni mogli zrobić ten wybór nie na korzyść studenckich poradni prawnych. W 2011 roku to było próbowano rozwiązać. Niektórzy deputaci, którzy byli dotyczni do wykładów w uniwersytetach, oni podali do ministerstwa projekt, którym by studencki poradni prawni otrzymaliby legalny status i byliby umożliwione, że oni też będą dawać tą podstawową, bezpłatną pomoc prawną. Niestety ten projekt ustawy nie był stwierdzony. Następnie w 2015 roku zaczyna u nas działać Narodowa Agencja Zapewniania Jakości Szkolnictwa Wyższego. Ja tak sobie myślałam, że to coś w rodzaju Polskiej Komisji Akredytacyjnej. I wtedy zaczyna się odrodzenie działalności klinik prawa. Dlaczego? Dlatego, że jak mówił profesor Svensson, w pierwsze 2 lata ta agencja wyrabia taki pół aktów, którymi będzie się kierować, kiedy będzie przewodzić akredytację. I w tych półach były różne standardy oświaty edukacji wyższej i było najpierw postawiono przed układaczami tych standardów, żeby oni sobie zobrazili studenta, którego chcą widzieć po ukończeniu kształcenia, tak? Jakie ma mieć kompetentności i inne profesyjne zdobytki. I kiedy ten obraz był sformułowany, to wtedy przypisano, że ma mieć taką kompetencję, taką. I okazało się, że niektórych kompetencji nie da się po prostu zabezpieczyć w taki sposób, kiedy lektor coś rozkaże, student słucha, potem zmienia się, student coś rozkaże, słucha wykładowcy i stawi ocenę. Nie da się tego zdobyć. I wtedy wielu uczelni w Ukrainie zrozumieli, że dla łatwiejszego przechodzenia tej akredytacji, dla tego, żeby nie utrudniać sobie roboty na seminariach zwykłych, można zaprowadzić jako obowiązkowy element nauczania kliniczną praktykę w poradniach prawnych. To, co zrobił nasz uniwersytet od 2020 roku, kliniczna praktyka w poradni prawnej jest obowiązkowym elementem naszej programy edukacyjnej. Tak. Cała programa ma około 90 kredytów EKTS, z nich 7,5 kredytów daje poradnia prawna. To odpowiedź dla Pani, czy można zrobić tę pracę w poradni prawnej elementem nauczania obowiązkowym. Nie wiem jeszcze, jak to zapracuje, gdyż ta programa była przyjęta w 2020 roku, wstąpiła w dzieje w 2021 i tylko tego roku pierwszy pół studentów, którzy wstąpią na nauczanie, będzie prowadzić tę kliniczną praktykę. I zobaczymy, jak to będzie działać. Ale też studenty młodsi, którzy nauczają się od drugiego roku nauczania, też biorą udział w robocie poradni prawnej. Prawda, pod kierownictwem, szczególnym kierownictwem, nie wolno im samym udzielać porad, tylko pod kierownictwem lub magistra prawa, osoby, która już zdobywa tytuł magistra prawa, lub pod kierownictwem kierownika tej uczelni. U nas teraz jest piękny kierownik Maksym Suchanow. Logicznie, żeby on przyjechał, Państwu przedstawiał tę klinikę, ale nas mężczyzny niestety, nawet naukowcy, którzy zwalniani są od służby w wojsku, nie mogą nawet nie podróżować, po prostu tereny państwa oni nie mogą w żadnym przypadku zostawić. Co wam chciałam powiedzieć, że spróby jakoś prawnie ukształcić działalność klinik prawnych są niezostawione. W 2017 roku Ministerstwo Edukacji pracowało nad projektem typowej ustawy o poradnię prawną. Tak nie zostało ono przyjęte. W 2018 roku było przyjęte w Ukrainie czergowe, ta podstawowa dopomoga prawna, tak? Ten zakon za 11 lat swojego istnienia ten zakon zmienił się prawie raz 20. To tak, żeby Państwo rozumiały. I w 2018 roku ten zakon, tam zaszły czergowe zmiany i było rozgornięto sieć taką prawie potężną, nie tak jak dotychczas, a w każdym wielkim mieście i średnim mieście zostało utworzono 1, 2, 3 lokacje, gdzie można było zdobyć tą bezpłatną dopomogę. No i wtedy, jeśli mówiąc, uniwersytety wcale nie znali, co robić z tymi poradniami prawa. Zostawiać, nie zostawiać. Z jednego boku agencja, z innego nie ma spraw, które by mogli zaproponować. No i została ta sytuacja rozwiązana, jak to nie dziwno, wojną. Bo wtedy mieliśmy, Państwo widziały, co się u Was robiło w Lwowie. Było to samo, tylko chyba w 2 razy więcej, bo część jechała przez polską granicę, część przez granicę innych państw, ale wszystkie prawie przejeżdżali przez Lwów i wtedy te poradnie, które istniały w Lwowie, po prostu nie dawali sobie rady z tym napływem ludzi, którzy potrzebowali, bo przyjeżdżali ludzie bez dokumentów, prawie bez niczego, nie wiedzieli, mogą oni przecinać granice, nie mogą, jakie potem sposoby te dokumenty uzupełnić. Ktoś wyjeżdżał bez zezwolenia ojca, tak, a gdzie ojciec nie wiadomo. Różne były sytuacje i wtedy było przyjęto wojskowej administracji Lwowa рішення o tym, że studenty, juryści, którzy nie mają taką ochotę, którzy są naszymi klinicystami, tak, było to formułowane ugodą, będą pracować pod kierownictwem doświadczonych adwokatów, którzy nadają podstawową dopomogę prawną i też będą pracować w ich ofisie. Jak długo będzie ta współpraca, nie wiadomo, na razie tak. Także my przez długi czas układamy takie umowy lokalne z związkami adwokatów. Są u nas partnerzy, którzy podtrzymują działalność kliniki prawnej już od 10 lat. Chyba nawet 5 minut nie będzie mówić, bo już okrąglam się. W tym roku, jeśli mówić o tok spraw, to jest dobry. Tak? Nie chcielibyśmy tego, tak? Lepiej by było, żeby nie był dobry, jakoś by sobie z tym poradzili. Co się tyczy dalszego rozwoju naszej pracy, to ja się zgadzam z tym twierdzeniem, że mamy się skupić na tym, że my nie nadajemy pomocy prawnej, nawet podstawowej, a my uczymy studentów. Ale trzeba rozrobić jakiś mechanizm tego, żeby te sprawy ciekawe dostawać, na których by studenty mogli się uczyć. Nad tym trzeba pracować. Sobie zanotowałam za niektórymi dopowiadacami, co można jeszcze ciekawego zrobić. Za to bardzo dziękuję i jeśli są do mnie jakieś pytania, to proszę bardzo. A jeśli nie ma pytań...
Drodzy Państwo, czy są jakieś pytania z sali? Do we have any questions?
Jeśli nie ma pytań, to ja wtedy zakończę swoją rozmowę, że chciałabym podziękować wszystkim Polakom za wsparcie nas w tej sytuacji. Ja z tego nie zaczęłam, bo ja jestem płaczek zawodowy i wtedy już by nie mogłam dalej mówić, ale naprawdę wam wszystkim dziękuję.
Dziękujemy serdecznie i myślę, że wszyscy nie mamy wątpliwości, że ilość spraw, która teraz wpływa do klinik prawa na Ukrainie, jest ogromna i jest to ogromne wyzwanie, żeby w obecnych czasach poradzić sobie z tym problemem. O, i mamy już rysunek również. I'm extremely sad to say that we are coming almost to the end. We have the last presentation of this session, and it's going to be Dr. Julia Kwacik. As far as I see, we're going to be connected online, right?
Yes. Do you hear me?
Oh, we can. Hi.
Hi. Nice to see you all.
It's lovely to see you. So the general rule is that you have 20 minutes. We are happy to hear your presentation.
Okay, now I would like to share my screen. Do you see it? Do you see my screen? Yes? Yes, it's not very nice. It's difficult to hear. So it's my pleasure to be here. Unfortunately, just online. I would love to join you in reality. Unfortunately, the circumstances are still not very affordable for coming to Poland, but I hope that the next year will be different and I will be able to visit you in reality. So I'm originally from Belarus. I have been living almost 40 years there, but different kind of circumstances, but basically the dictatorships and with the war pushed me to look for another opportunities. And here you can see that now my affiliation is International Business School at Jönköping University, where I'm working as assistant professor in law and have different courses in law, because people very often ask me, what do you teach there? Because it's a business school. But today, it's a big pleasure to speak about my favorite topic, this legal clinic education. Still, I'm not here, not in Belarus. I don't have a law student in Jönköping, but I'm looking for any opportunities to think about legal clinics, to help the legal clinics, to try to do something that could be very helpful to all of us. And today, I would like to speak about something that we don't have now, but I hope we will have tomorrow, or let's say in several years. On the slide, you can see that what I plan to discuss with you. I plan to dream, because when we are dreaming, we are setting goals, we have something to imagine, and we have inspiration to work on these issues. So nobody knows what will be tomorrow. We haven't think about pandemic, about the war. So let's just try to imagine what we can have in clinical legal education. I don't think that it's very innovative issues, but I think that we could discuss, if this topic can be reality or no. So when I start working on the plan, the first word was stars, not the start. But I decided, so maybe it's about the real stars, because all of you, my colleagues in different countries, in the Ukraine, in Poland, in Belarus, in Germany, we are stars because we are have the lights to people to help them to solve the legal problems and to see the lights and their darkness and their problems. But of course, for me, it was always the most important was how to do something in clinical legal education for students, then for clients, after for law school and universities, and basically for the society. I think you will agree with me. And now this is my futuristic plan that I would like to present to you. And could be about, when I was a student, when I have been visiting my legal clinics, for me, I tried to imagine that it's a real legal law firm, like in the movies, and we are working with real clients, and we are struggling with some kind of official office tasks. We are struggling with some kind of duties between us. We negotiate with the university authorities to get more paper or to get new printer or something like this. So for me, it was a real law firm, but of course it was just one room and several people around me and one teacher. So my dream is like, if the university will be really wish to have law firms. So we will speak about the law firms, about legal tech, we will speak about the could be legislative initiatives from the legal clinics, about some kind of scientific and pedagogical research about how to create cooperation more and more profitable, and how to be able to present fast reaction for any challenges that could happen. And of course, about the international cooperation, that I still believe that legal clinics don't have borders, but we will see that clear without borders, like slogan. For the first, we will speak about the law firms. I think it could be made in the reality, and it's not very hard to create like real law firms on the base of the law school. And I'm sure that the school will have a lot of profit from this if it will be a student law firm. Of course, it's just a dream, and but still it could be a huge perspective for the students, as well as for the teachers, and as well for the school, because it's real cases, this is real skills, this is promotion, this is negotiations with many actors and something like this. So my favorite movie is Suits. So let's make legal clinics like Suits in the future. And I think that, of course, it will be some competition between real law firms and legal clinics, because we have more motion, we have more inspiration, and we are more sensitive for social issues. But of course, here it shouldn't be the main goal to earn a lot of money. So maybe some money just to set like the basic duties or needs, but not so more. We'll speak about the legal tech. It could be discussable, and when I start to speak with my colleagues, who is an advocate, former advocate in Belarus, he said you should watch this like talk show, like this video where this person, Richard Susskind, which is the most popular about thinking what the law future, what the future of the lawyers are waiting for us. And he started writing his books like maybe almost 20 years ago. And I have heard that some of his prognosis were very like real. And here you can see the QR code. You can find the real video and watch it by yourself. And I was really impressed by the project of the Andy Unger from the South Bank London University about their law tech project in cooperation with NGO, which help people who has some kind of abuse. And they created an app because the NGO was not able to get calls at nighttime. And basically people who can be abused or abused, they usually would like to contact and asking help at nighttime. So they created an app that the people can like describe their situation. And even it was possible to divide. It should be like psychological health help or like legal help. So it works, and they made this absolutely online. It was during the pandemic, and it's really nice to read about this. So you can. So I have some papers from Andy just to see the details. If you are interesting, I think that Andy and we can share it with you. And my biggest desire is to create like an app for the legal clinics, when our clients could like send application, when they can ask the question, they can see how we are working, and maybe to bring some kind, give us feedback, different kind of like activities. So maybe some clinics already have it, but I haven't heard, but I think it could be a nice idea in future. About the legislative initiatives, I'm sure that we are like students from legal clinics are able to present something at United Nations. They have skills for the public speeches, they have real cases, they could arise like important problems, something like this. But the lack of time, I won't push a lot of effort for these slides, but I think you understand what I'm speaking about. Because we are working with the most vulnerable groups, and it's not popular groups, and for politicians it's not so popular to move these issues because they consider taking a lot of money, and the budgets are not so like full nowadays in many countries, even in Sweden. So I think that we need, and all these, the groups of our clients, they need our helps in this, because if we have a law about something, it's much easier to help the person if it's possible to find some legal occasion for this. If I speak about the scientific and pedagogical approach, my big dream is like independent master program about clinical legal education. And I have heard that in Czech Republic, they prepared something like this. I'm not sure, but it seemed to me that I have read something about this. And or it's like the clinical course or clinical even part, several courses about like legal writing, about interviewing, working with clients, about like applications to the courts and the state bodies. It could be like several courses, like a compulsory part of the bachelor program for lawyers. Of course, a lot of skills, nice LinkedIn profile, publications that we're living with you all your life, and it could be some kind of preparation for academic career. Because I know that one of the best teachers who are like lawyers and teachers, those who have clinical experience. Cooperation with NGOs is also very well developed in Poland and Ukraine, not so much in Belarus because of the lack of the NGOs, and now we don't have at all NGOs, just like state. They don't work in reality. But recently I participated in this project, YAS Education and Activism for Migrants and Refugees' Rights, because at Jönköping University I had to prepare a migration law course, small one for the pedagogical school, and I have been looking for nice materials for the case studies and so on. Not so easy, it wasn't so easy to find it. But then I found this project and it was very helpful to me. I got a lot of cases, I got a lot of materials from this course. So this partnership, it's very nice. If you're interested, they have website, and it's possible to find videos recording of the master classes, and even to find some more other links and specialists with whom you can cooperate. And the last session was very interesting. I don't remember the name of the person. He's from Białystok, from Poland. I haven't heard what kind of the title of the NGOs, but this NGO has been working with illegal migrants on the Polish and Belarus border during the attack of the Lukashenko to the European Union with help of the migrants from Middle East. And they have been working with migration law cases a lot, and they have a very incredible experience. So I don't know, do you know about them? But still, I have known about them just in this project. And I'm worried about the time because I didn't check the first, like the beginning of my...
We have 5 minutes left.
Perfect. So this, you can see that the challenges, and as it's now a sensitive issue for me, like migration law issues, that could be reaction of the legal clinics to some kind of global, regional, or local challenges. For example, environmental forced migration that could happen like at once, when a lot of water, a lot of sun, a lot of extremely cold something, or any other issues that could happen. And now it's becoming more and more because of the global climate change. Geopolitics, it's without description, everyone understands what it is. Humanitarian, because, and this, border crisis, it was really humanitarian catastrophe because people were living in the forest without food, with children. It was snow. So from my point of view, it's really humanitarian catastrophe. And about the international cooperation, clinical legal without borders, could we have like an exchange program for legal clinical students? Just for the clinical students. I think some kind of exchange already working. So we visited Polish legal clinics, Russian, like Kosovo clinics and the others. But it's like I don't remember what the title of the program that usually students migrate like and moving around the Europe. Maybe we can have
Erasmus, maybe?
Yes.
Erasmus.
Yes. So so let's think that in the future we have like Erasmus for legal clinics, and even not Erasmus because it's European, and like even to go to the South Africa, South America, like United States, just to exchange new experience of law, of the approaches and something like this. And I'm sure that some of you will go to South Africa next 10 days. Yes, I'm correct. Because I have seen that Pilar from Valencia already is in Africa, South Africa, and I'm sure that maybe Philip are going tomorrow or like in a few days. And maybe some other people from Poland and from Ukraine are going to South Africa. So bring a lot of hello to our colleagues from different countries and have a lot of fun there, because the nature of South Africa, and I think the facilities will be incredible. The last slide, this is my big and main hope. It's in the interdisciplinary clinic, because now I'm working in the business school. I don't have legal law students, but still I really dreaming, and I have been explaining during my hiring process that I plan to create like a disciplinary clinic or something like based on the clinical approach between business and engineering or pedagogical school here in Jönköping. And I'm already thinking about this, but maybe not now, because I have a lot of issues to survive, but maybe next or in a year, I can present my experience at your conference. So thank you so much for your attention, and have a lot of fun, and my big soul and very nice attitude to all of you. Have a nice evening today, and we are in touch.
Thank you, Julia.
Greetings from Philip.
I really miss all of you.
From Philip as well.
Thank you so much for the invitation.
Unfortunately, that was our last presentation. I do believe we have some drawing to show you, Julia. I hope you're still with us.
Yes. Okay, thank you so much.
So, unfortunately, we don't have much time for further discussion, but I would like to use this floor for at least 1 second and to say that I am very grateful for University of Szczecin to be able to be a part of this event as an and representative of academic field, because I am representative of CMS law firm, and we are happy to be here, and we are really looking forward for future cooperation with legal clinics. I do believe it's actually a future, both of legal clinics and of law firms, because we are seeking to cooperate with your students in future. And during their time at university, I hope we are able to provide you with a lot of support, both financially and meritorically.
We hope so. Thank you, Angelika, for moderating this session. And I will also ask you for giving this certificate of attendance to the participants. And after this,
now the fun part.
And after this short celebration, we are asking you to go to the stairs. We will have joint photo of all participants. Then we have lunch, and then we will have this round table. So, Angelika, the floor is yours.
Can I ask all the speakers to join me here? That will be the easiest and the fastest way.